congratulations, you're vegan now.
Yes.
But do you still use plastic?
Do you shop sustainably?
What about your beauty products? Are they all vegan? Are they cruelty-free at least? I mean, like, where do you buy them?
Are you zero waste?
Are you pet vegan?
What about your car? Is it leather?
Do you have a leather couch?
Hi, I'm NISHA.
I'm Nicole. I'm Dani.
And I'm Hannah.
And this is
The Vegan View.
Cheers!
Hey guys, welcome back to The Vegan View. So today we have a very special guest. We have lifestyle vlogger, social media influencer, and new vegan, Sam Ozkural.
Hi!
Welcome!
You make me sound so cool.
You are cool!
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
We're
Oh my
really
gosh,
excited to have you
we're
on.
so excited to have you on. We've been following you ever since you messaged us,
Oh,
and we
yeah.
were like, this girl is like one of us.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes,
we just
totally.
vibe with you, so we're really excited to finally
Yes.
have you here.
Yes. My subscribers put this together because they watch your channel and tagged me in your post, and I was like, I have to be on the show.
Oh, that's so great. We're
Yeah.
always asking them to do that if you want to see someone on the show.
Yes.
And
Oh
it
my
works.
gosh.
Yeah.
Comment below if that was you who did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You set it up.
So you're
Matchmakers.
a pretty new vegan, right? Like, how's that been? Tell us about it.
Well, I feel like when you go vegan, it's one of those things you're going to remember every moment. Like, I wish I could just go back and do it again because it's like the scariest moment of your life. You feel like you're relearning how to eat and
Yeah.
grocery shop. So it's kind of a lot of mixed emotions. It's really good. It's positive, but then it's also scary. And then I feel like you I don't know, a whole community comes together and you really reach out to people and people all want to like help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like kindergarten. Like you go to a new school and
Yes.
you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. Everything's so new and you have to make new friends.
Yeah.
And like you're getting to know so many new people. It's crazy.
And then someone reaches out and they're like, oh, try this. And you're like, oh my gosh, that made my life so much easier.
Yeah.
Like acai bowls and, you know, adding protein to my smoothies. That's how I'm boosting my protein. I feel like I'm getting all these tips from the internet and from people I don't even know. And now I'm like, oh, it's like it's a whole nother community. It's a whole nother world. I didn't even realize this whole vegan community before going vegan.
Right.
Yeah.
What was the primary inspiration?
I mean, honestly, I've been vegetarian back and forth for a really long time. It was never okay with me to eat meat, but then I just feel like I've become more normalized to it. Like, I feel awful even saying that, but I feel like that's just kind of what happened. And then I watched so many different documentaries, and yeah, when you see what goes on, you're just like, that's awful. I cannot participate in that anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
I always say you can't like unsee what you've seen. So
It's crazy.
For me, it was like I watched a documentary and then I could not. I told myself I wasn't going to go 100% vegan. I was like, I'll try it.
I
I'll
said that
ease
too,
into it.
yeah.
And then every time I tried to sit down and eat something, I just felt so gross and guilty, and
Yeah.
I just couldn't get it out of my head.
Once you turn yourself off to meat and you block that out of, like, you almost could get sick even thinking about it.
Yeah.
And seeing it in the refrigerator, that's why I'm so glad my boyfriend went vegan a week after I did.
That's
So
amazing.
awesome.
Because I was like, there is no way I can watch him cook a steak.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that's against what I believe in now, but I showed him the documentaries too, and he was like, okay, I'm gonna try vegetarian first, but then once he saw what actually happens in slaughterhouses, he was like, hell no.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
really great.
What a man.
I know, that's a keeper.
Yeah. So we did it together. So it's nice having somebody. I don't feel like I'm completely alone.
Exactly.
Yeah. So once you decided to go vegan, did you announce it on your social media right away, or were you scared to...
I was a little scared. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm scared and I've been vegan for 4 years.
Yeah. Okay, so before I went vegan, I was making a lot of what I eat in a day videos, and there have been vegan channels that have used my videos as examples of what not to do.
That's so nice when they do that. I love that for them. Like, great.
Yeah, and so I just felt like, oh my gosh, like there is no way this community is for me because, you know, I was looking at it from such a small percentage, and I was looking at internet vegans rather than just like
Real life.
Yeah.
vegans. So obviously if you're on the internet and you're really passionate about it, you're gonna be more free to say whatever it is you want to say, and you don't know these people in real life. So I think that for a long time I was just kind of making what I eat in a day videos that didn't have meat and dairy in them. If you were like, are you vegan now? I'm like, maybe. I don't know.
And that kind of sucks that you're like, you have to put a label on it right away. You can't just...
Yeah.
And
I
I'm
don't like
so
labels
Yeah.
at all, actually.
Well, I'm so impressed that you went vegan at all because especially getting that you're in the spotlight and like people are taking what you create and kind of spinning it. Like I understand why they're doing that, but I can't believe you could find it in your heart to go vegan after all of that. Because
Well, it took a year,
Yeah.
but I mean,
it
it
took
was
me way longer, so
Okay.
that's faster. Yeah.
You've been vegan 4 years.
But it was like years and years I would be like vegetarian, we're talking about, and then I would switch back. I would go vegan, like hardcore, like for the animals, and I switched back, and it wasn't until like I realized like, oh, I can say no to stuff, like,
Right.
and be fine with it and not be attacked and stand up for myself when I am attacked. And then I
Right.
was just like, oh, I can do this forever.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I do feel like when you are vegan, though, you're attacked a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you have to have a lot of gumption.
Yeah.
Yeah, from people worried about you, like genuinely worried,
Yeah.
like, oh, are you getting all of your nutrients? And are you, you know, a hippie now?
Yeah.
Do you wear deodorant? And you're like, yeah, no, I'm literally me still.
Yeah.
I just don't eat dairy and meat.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I know the hardest part is when like people in your family and like your close friends all of a sudden like start treating you differently and like looking at you in a weird way, and you're like,
Yeah.
it's still me, I'm still the same person. But-
Family especially, because I
Yeah.
think that they worry. They're like, whoa, because this is what they've done their whole life,
Yeah.
especially my grandparents. I'm
Oh,
going to
yeah.
give them the out. They're definitely not going vegan at this point.
Yeah.
So they're like, you don't eat no meat? And I'm like, no.
I know, same.
Like, you're looking a little gray. It's like,
You're like, I just didn't wear self-tanner.
yeah. Putting on a little extra blush. So, yeah.
Bronzer out.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
So
I,
funny.
yeah, definitely challenges with telling your family. It's like almost like you're telling them that you're it's like you died and now you're coming back as a different person.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like, I think that the reason like we feel that way is because it's almost like putting a light on like what they're doing is like, it makes it seem like you think what they're doing is wrong, and you're like, oh, and I think that that's why they get defensive
Yeah.
and stuff. That they're like, oh, you're trying to be different than us. And I think for a long time veganism has had such like a negative connotation of being,
Right.
you know, like a stereotype of whatever a vegan is, but I mean, it's just changing the way you eat.
Yeah.
You know, it's not changing who you are as a person.
Yeah. And some people, I think it's not for everybody. And I think we can all agree that we don't want every single person in our family that has to go vegan just because we are. So I think just translating that to my subscribers that, you know, one subscriber reached out to me, made me feel so sad. She's like, Sam, I still eat meat, but I like your channel. Do you think you still like me? And she wrote me this whole email, and I felt awful reading that because I said what I always say, and that's my channel's about healthy living. It's not necessarily about veganism because I think there's still a long list of things I still have to learn. I'm not completely vegan with my lifestyle yet, mainly just my diet.
Well, you've only been vegan for 8 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I was still didn't even know leather was like not vegan when I was like 2 months into being
Yeah.
plant-based. I was like, what's going on?
I didn't know when I was this was when I was vegetarian. Now I know this, but I didn't know what collagen was.
Yeah.
So I put a scoop
Oh,
of
yeah.
that in my shake, and somebody was like, "That's animal bones," and I was like, "It is? Like, that's gross." Like I never even knew, because it's so normalized. Like, oh, you need collagen for your skin, and tomatoes have collagen. So to me, I didn't even think, you know.
Totally.
Yeah.
So I made a lot of
They
mistakes.
make a plant-based one, Garden of Life.
Ooh.
The one, the Alicia Silverstone
Oh yeah.
line.
Oh, yeah.
She makes a plant-based collagen.
What does that have in it?
I don't.
It's from
remember,
plants,
but
I
yeah.
think.
I'll
Yeah,
link it
you know
below.
how tomatoes
Yeah.
have collagen. It's like
yeah,
just
it's all
yeah.
like all of
collagen
her
from
vitamins are all like.
plants.
If you read the back, it's like bell peppers, broccoli.
What I think is really interesting what you're saying about your subscriber who feels bad. There's actually a TED Talk Melanie Joy did, and she talks about like shame and guilt. And shame is like feeling not able to be loved for who you are. And I feel like that's what causes so much friction, just like in the non-vegan and vegan community and vegan on vegan. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of vegan on vegan hate.
Oh my
going
gosh,
on.
so much.
And it makes it so negative, and you have to give people room to breathe and
Yeah.
learn and grow. Like no one went vegan 100% overnight. They had to like learn things.
And most people weren't born vegan, so
Right.
we've all, well, I shouldn't say we all, but a lot of us have had meat growing up, and
Yeah, I think it's interesting that you said that the vegans that you see online are not the vegans that you see in real life. Can you
Right.
talk about that?
So I went to the Gentle Barn last weekend, and
I
have you
love
guys
that
been
place.
there?
I haven't yet.
Oh, okay. So
I went
there's
for my birthday a couple
Yeah.
years
yeah,
ago.
there's a few birthdays there. I want to go for my birthday.
Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah. So they're all vegan there for the most part. I think I don't know about every single person that works there, but the people that started it are vegan, and they only allow vegan food there. They have vegan hot dogs, and then you're welcome to bring your own food, but it has to be plant-based. But they sat us down and they were talking to each group before you go and pet the animals, and they were just saying, you know, even just reducing the amount of meat, that's great. Like, you know, if you could do that, if you could do meatless Mondays, that's amazing. And so by hearing that, they just told me, okay, they're okay with people that eat meat. They just want you to eat less. And they were just so welcoming about it. I mean, they did say, you know, if you want to go plant-based, we can help you. We can show you different meal plans and recipes and all of that. But they were also okay and understanding to people that weren't vegan and are not going to go vegan. And to me, I was like, that is so different than the internet, because on the internet, it's you're 100% vegan or nothing, or you're not one of us. And so then sometimes that's why I don't say I'm vegan in public, because I don't know how people are gonna be. So when I go to a restaurant, I don't necessarily say I'm vegan. I just say, you know, no cheese, please, and just leave it at that. Just because it's like, oh, you're vegan. This one restaurant in LA, I did say I was vegan, and they were like, oh, well, we cook all of our food in animal broth, so you probably can't eat anything here.
Oh my gosh.
And I was just like, oh, okay. But yeah, so I felt like once I heard that, and then me and Jared also went to, I don't know what it's called, maybe you guys have been, but in downtown LA, you can feed the pigs before they go in to be slaughtered.
Yeah,
Have you
LA
seen that?
Animal Save.
LA Animal Save.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go to the Animal Save LA, I believe it's called, and you can give water to the pigs that are about to be slaughtered, because they have been, honestly, like, it's almost like the worst part, which is being slaughtered, isn't even the worst part for them, because these pigs are piled on top of each other for a week, and some are at the bottom, and the ones that are at the bottom are like losing an eye now, or like sick, and like you look at them and like
they're so
pus
dehydrated and just beaten up.
And think about it, that's what people are consuming.
Yeah.
It's not like this fresh pig on the farm, it's pigs with diseases on top of each other. So anyways, that aside, you know, they're really sad, and you can give them water, and all the people there are just so welcoming. Like, the day I went there, it was a really cold day. We went when we first went vegan back in January, and I had my Uggs on, and I wasn't even thinking, and it was only a month in being vegan, or maybe not even, maybe 3 weeks being vegan, so I still had Uggs, and I was like, oh no, I'm wearing Uggs on the way there, and Jared's like, don't worry about it, they're not gonna say anything. And I got there, and this one woman just gave me a hug. She's like, thank you for coming. And I was like, okay, like, it's okay. But like, I worried about that. I was like, maybe I thought about not volunteering because I was wearing Uggs. Like, that's not right.
Yeah.
Like,
I
that
almost didn't go to my first vegan meetup and met some of, like, one of my friends, like, I'm still friends with to today, because I had a leather purse, and I thought I seen, like, all these vegans on the internet and how mean they are, and I was like, I'm just gonna get torn to pieces. And people just came, gave me hugs. They were like, do you want some of the food we brought? It was so nice.
Yes.
And it's just not representative of what's going on the internet.
No,
Yeah.
no, not at all. So I couldn't believe that I felt so ashamed of myself, because I was like, I almost made him turn the car around, and I wasn't going to volunteer and do something productive and good and say goodbye to these pigs. And you talk to them, and a lot of the people there are like, it's okay, piggies. Like, they're not like depressing to them. They're like, you got this. Like, you're so strong. We love you. And it's really sad, but really, I found this different side of the community. It was right when Jared went vegan, and we just saw this complete, like, just normal people.
Yeah.
You know,
It was so
wasn't-
normal.
Yeah.
Like, not that weird.
Yeah. So I think that was a big thing for us, to just see internet vegans and then just real life compassionate
I think
people.
that's so important too. Like, it's something that needs to change so desperately in the movement. Is like, people on the internet need to be like that, like how they are in real life. Like, it needs to be less judgment. I feel like with anything on the internet, people feel safety because they're behind a keyboard, so they can say whatever they want, and where they wouldn't say that to your face normally. And it's just not a good representation of the vegan community. Like,
No.
this is not what we're about. Like, we get together and we talk about, like, we're not perfect vegans. Like, we mess up here, we mess up there. Like, we're all on our own individual journey. Like, we brought a plastic cup today for our coffee instead of bringing our reusable because we left it at home. And, like, that's just, like, life. Like, we can't all expect everyone to be perfect. And if everyone on the internet was, like, very welcoming like they are in real life, then maybe people would be more willing to go vegan or talk about it.
Yes.
Like, celebrate the good things that someone's doing
Yeah.
instead of pointing out the negative things. Because
Yeah.
I feel like
We're just shaming people into just not being enough.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's not enough. You
And
did
no
a
one
little
wants
bit.
to feel like
Why
that.
can't you
Yeah.
do more? Like,
And it's sometimes coming from non-vegans.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
a lot of it is
A
because
lot.
it's a way of deflecting responsibility. Like, if
Right.
they
Yeah.
feel like, oh, some of this makes sense, I think as a non-vegan, you feel one, like you can't do it perfectly enough, so
Right.
why try? And then also you look at someone who is vegan and you see like all these holes, like, well, they're doing this and then doing that, so there is that really something I want to do?
Right.
It's a weird sort of
I like to
dichotomy.
think if you feel yourself checking someone else, you got to stay in your own lane. Like that's always trying to cover up something you're doing wrong or feeling bad about inside.
Or
And
maybe you need
like-
to take a second for you and just see that if there is something you want to add into your diet or routine that you see somebody else doing, then just do it. Like, I don't feel like this should be a life sentence. And at the end of the day, Carrie Underwood really inspired me to go from vegetarian to completely vegan because she said that she's a practical vegan and that sometimes when she's traveling, if she accidentally has cheese, she doesn't beat herself up over it. And when she's on the plane, and that's what I worried about, like traveling and stuff, like people adding like sometimes veggie burgers aren't actually veggie, like they have eggs and milk in them. Recently I had the Subway sandwich and it says it's vegan online, but I guess only in the UK. It was a little misleading.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
So I
Same thing with, like,
advertised it to
McDonald's.
my subscribers and so many of them were like, that's not vegan, and I just ate it and I was like, oh damn it.
Sucks.
So
Yeah. I know.
it happens, but if it wasn't for her standing up and saying that, yeah, that happens to me, or sometimes her saying that, and sometimes I choose to have that because maybe to her, well, I'm in another country, having that is a better alternative. Having a little powdered milk might be a better alternative for her than having like fish or something.
So
So
just not eating for days.
Yeah.
Like this girl was on the flight and she hadn't eaten forever, and they brought out rolls, and they're like, there is an egg wash on this roll, but we don't have anything else on the plane. She was like, you know what? Give me the roll. I haven't eaten in 24 hours. Like she'd already gotten through all her food she brought on. Like it's unavoidable sometimes.
Oh, I would
Yeah.
totally
Yes.
do that.
And veganism is, the definition is avoiding animal use for fashion, food, and entertainment when practicable and possible. It's not a dogma, it's not a religion. You don't have to repent if you've messed up.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Or you don't have to say, oh, now I'm not
Not
vegan
vegan,
anymore.
yeah.
I have to just give up.
Yeah, exactly.
Like-
That's a really good point.
Yeah, let me go to In-N-Out. And I think that I think that like that happened to me a lot when I was vegetarian because I think that there's just so much room for me to have so many different things when you're vegetarian, and I didn't really know all the ground rules with vegetarian, whereas vegan I know what I'm supposed to eat and why I'm not eating it. Actually, your video on why you guys don't have dairy was so eye-opening to me.
Aw, that's
Just-
one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
I'm glad you like it.
Just because for women, I feel like if you care about women empowerment, then you have to care about these cows that are going through just such awful living situations.
Yeah. We're saying like
Yeah.
it's okay for this animal like to be commodified, and then we're doing
her
it in our
babies taken
society,
away.
and we're sitting down to that 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Like
And seeing her cry for her baby.
I know.
that
Yeah,
kills
it's
me.
just like, it's really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one I saw recently where the cow was like actually like coming after the truck in the
I've seen
driver's
that
side.
one.
Yeah, and was like
I've
almost
seen
like
it too.
headbutting it, like give me back my child, and I was just like, oh, I can't.
Exactly. So I think that for me, a lot of my subscribers will say, you know, can I just be vegetarian and have dairy? But for me, I actually think the dairy industry is so much worse.
So do
Yeah.
I. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the first thing I gave up was fish and dairy randomly.
I went the opposite.
I did
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
think most people do.
haven't been able to have dairy for a long time, but I never like connected it until I saw that, and then it was just for me. I feel the same way. It's like I see so much torture in like a glass of milk than I do anything else.
Right.
I just can't,
Yeah.
it's hard for me to understand people justifying it still, but I do. I mean,
That's just the weirdest thing.
it's
to
just
me,
our
yeah.
society. Like we are so trained to think that we're supposed to drink milk from the time we're babies, even like
Yeah.
formula.
Oh yeah, my baby's doctors are always like, "You're not giving your kids cow's milk." I'm like, why would I give a human being breast milk that's made for a cow? It makes
And when you say that, it makes total sense.
I know. I should just be like, my dog's pregnant, and so I'm just milking her. And
Like how you did
That's hilarious. But like that is what it seems like. Once you like see it that way, you can't unsee it.
No. I mean, my mom is not vegetarian or vegan, but when we were little, we were never allowed to have cow's milk.
oh,
And so
Huh.
she like teachers would sometimes say something because when they would bring out milk and cookies or something, I'd be like, oh, I'm not allowed to have milk. And I remember my teacher saying that to my mom, like, why can't she have milk? And my mom was like, because it's from a cow.
That's
And, like,
amazing.
Wow. How
like
enlightened.
she was okay with like a little bit of fish and a little bit of chicken, but she wasn't like, we didn't have red meat growing up, and we didn't have milk. Was like the worst thing. That was
That's
not
so
even,
funny.
you couldn't buy it. Even when I was a teenager and wanted to see what milk tasted like, she was like, there's milk in the
Absolutely
house.
not.
Yeah, we had soy milk at a really young age, which I know
Wow.
some people are iffy about, but that was in the 90s.
Yeah.
I still drink soy
I
milk.
feel like
do, too.
especially
I
when
like
we were
it.
kids.
It's so good.
Yeah,
I love
like
it. The Eden organic is very
That's
good.
really
Yes.
good. Yeah.
I feel like especially when we were kids, like everyone thought, like I was just telling them at my school, like you could have milk or chocolate milk. Those are the only drink options.
Milk builds strong bones, remember?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
My doctors
got
used to
milk.
be like,
Yeah.
you're small, you need to drink a lot of milk because you're gonna have osteoporosis when you get older. When it's like
gosh.
actually milk causes
Yeah.
osteoporosis. So
Right.
scary
Correlated.
stuff.
What was it like as a kid? Were you okay with not drinking milk, or did you ever wanted?
Well, I used to horseback ride and go to farms a lot as a kid, and so I made that connection very early on, and I remember just sitting down one day and being like, wait, this is from an animal, and my grandparents being like, yeah, and I was like, well, I don't eat that anymore.
Yeah.
So I
That
didn't
is
eat,
awesome.
I didn't eat meat until I was 14 or 15. I started eating chicken again,
Oh.
but like once a month, and then when I met my boyfriend when we were in college, I had just started eating fish again. So
So you've been kind of like
Everywhere.
pretty much.
but I always ate
vegetarian.
cheese. I thought I would never. I really didn't think I could give up cheese.
I mean,
I think most
same.
people feel
Do you have a vegan cheese that you really like?
Nutritional yeast.
Yeah,
mean.
I love
Yeah?
nutritional
Have
Yeah.
you tried Miyoko's?
Yes, but it does kind of bother me. Like sometimes in my stomach, it's like not doing okay.
It's like a lot of
Because
coconut
it's
oil.
like a lot
yeah.
of fat.
Okay,
and
I didn't know what it
fat and
is.
salt. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't sit well.
Yeah.
Honestly, I try to stay away from fake stuff. Like I don't
Yeah.
even like Impossible Burgers. I think I stand alone. Sometimes people are like, no, they're delicious, but I don't like meat because I don't like what it represents, and I don't like the taste of it
And you didn't
anymore.
grow up eating it.
And I didn't really-
My friend who's vegetarian does not. She grew up vegetarian, does not get the gardein, the like meat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's so familiar to
Yeah.
like, people like me who grew up eating meat.
Yeah, but
So
I mean, I
you're
did
probably
have it
healthier
growing
for
up.
it, too.
Yeah, I just
Less
don't like.
processed food.
Yeah.
I have a nacho cheese recipe that is like butternut squash and nutritional yeast and cayenne pepper and the juice from a jalapeno jar.
Ooh.
So it tastes like nacho
Oh,
cheese,
that's
but
like
it's
the
all
hot for
good
food,
ingredients.
yeah.
See, I
so it
like
tastes
stuff like
really
that
good.
that you can kind of make
Make
taste
it-
like.
Yeah,
taste-
it's really
yeah.
good on
More whole
potatoes.
food.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I try to stick with that. I think nutritional yeast really was my savior for going vegan because I was like, how will I get I just need that extra little topping on a salad or something, and I feel like that helped a lot.
Have you noticed any like positive side effects or things that have been hard going vegan as like a new vegan?
I would say probably all the protein questions, and then that's made me question, am I getting enough protein?
Yeah.
Of course, because I wasn't sure. And I think, when I was younger, I didn't really even think about that. I think now that's kind of a thing that people always say, are you getting enough protein? So sometimes I wonder, and I'll be eating throughout the day, and I'll track it in my FitnessPal just to see. And I'm like, I only had 50 grams today. And then another day it'll be at like 100. So
Yeah.
I would say I'm not really consistent with protein.
But neither is most of the population.
And that's also
Right.
better, like
not
normal.
vegan or not.
Or some people have too much.
Yeah,
is what
I
I
think
read.
most people eat way too much protein.
Yeah, and
Right.
it's giving a lot of people kidney problems. So
Oh wow.
Yeah, too much
Yeah.
protein is
A
really
lot.
stressful on your body.
yeah.
Like they always
But that
say
is definitely like the number one thing I feel like people bring up, and it's so, especially as a new vegan, because I'm
Or
sure you're
B12.
telling, B12. I'm sure you're telling people in your life, and they're like, well, what about protein? That's like the number one response. I feel like.
I feel like I always
Yeah.
see like on What the Health and like all those plant-based doctors, the way they say it is like the question shouldn't be are you getting enough protein? It's are you getting enough fiber?
Fiber.
And like most people like
Yeah.
aren't getting
Yeah.
enough fiber at
Vegans,
all.
we just eat fiber.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Oh,
so
my
much fiber.
So
So
you're
we're good.
We're good. We're
and
so good.
I think I even saw somewhere that was like even if you only ate the lowest form of protein is like rice or something, like the lowest percentage of protein, if you only ate that, like you would still be getting enough protein.
Wow.
Because like that's not really something
But don't do that. Because
Yeah,
yeah,
no, no, no.
micronutrients you need from like different kinds
Other-
of things.
no,
but
but they were
no,
like-
it's true. It's not that hard. Like if you're eating enough calories and you're eating a variety of foods,
Yeah, that's the key.
you should be fine. Like
Yeah.
if you really want to pay attention to it, they're like, try to make sure you have a protein source with every meal, like whether that's soy milk is a great source of protein, legumes, tofu, like anything.
Quinoa,
Yeah.
oats, nuts.
Yeah.
So
And
much
I'm
stuff.
okay with tofu a few times a week. I know
Yeah.
some people are not. I mean, I am. I like
eat
it.
it. Doesn't Jared love tofu?
He loves tofu. And
My
he
husband
cooks it
likes
really
it too.
good.
Oh my gosh, a tofu buffalo nugget, like.
Yeah.
I like tofu, but I love tempeh. We were talking about it earlier.
I like tempeh too. Some people are really weird with it. 'Cause they're
I
like,
love
what
it.
is tempeh? And I'm
It's
like,
so
I
good.
don't really know.
I love it.
Any positive things you've seen?
Positive. Definitely skin. I mean, I ate a lot of dairy, so I do think dairy causes pimples. I really do.
yeah.
And just weird skin. I had dry skin for a long time. Now that I'm vegan, it's like a mix. I wouldn't say it's completely oily, but it's more a combination where I like it. So that's fun when you're doing your makeup and you're not like picking off dry skin.
Oh yeah.
So I like that. I think just overall body skin, I just think I just have more even skin tone and I have a ton of energy, which never really was a huge thing. But when you're done eating, like I don't need to take a nap. I'm not like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge thing I've noticed too.
Yeah.
I'm not like sleepy every time I eat.
That's the best thing.
Yeah, I used to be really. I mean, I think a lot of simple carbs do that, like white bread and stuff.
Yeah.
Which when I was eating certain things, like I don't make a grilled cheese now. You know what I mean? Like there's certain things that I was eating then that I'm not eating now, or a slice of pizza.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
focus more on like whole foods and
Right.
nourishing foods.
Right.
Healthy
Yeah.
vegan.
Yeah, she is. Yeah,
I
you've got
try.
good recipes.
Yeah. Thank you.
A lot of good stuff.
And you're a big fan of meal prep too, right?
Yes.
Is that something you guys do consistently?
Every Sunday. So when we're done here, that's what we'll go do.
What
Me
would
and
you
my
say to
boyfriend
people?
really like doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so helpful. What would you say to people that feel really stressed out about the notion of meal prep? Like, what are some tips that you can give our audience?
Well, one of the things is a plant-based meal prep compared to eating meat and stuff lasts so much longer. It's so much cheaper. We could do sometimes, and we eat all organic, so we can do $50 a person and have that all week. And that's amazing because if you're eating meat and cheese and eggs and all that, that all adds up. Especially if you want to buy good quality meat, you have to, it's like,
So
it's a lot.
expensive.
It could be $30 just
Yeah.
for one person.
Yep.
And then you got to prep for the whole week. So it's cheaper. So I think that a lot of people who wouldn't like that, you know, you can go buy what you really want and save on your food. And then I think that just having a big thing of quinoa and maybe not prepping all my vegetables all at once is so helpful because I could just quickly make a bowl and just steam my veggies. And I think also always having something a little sweet, like having an acai bowl or smoothie bowl or something, just because it always tastes like ice cream. And I think that, you know, it doesn't feel like a diet. We're on
It's nice to
diets
have,
right
like,
now.
a treat.
Yeah. So I think you can have more treats when you're vegan than you can.
I feel like some of the food is just naturally sweet too.
Yeah.
Right.
Like so
yeah.
many fruits and stuff. It's just what a wonderful life.
Yeah, and I think when you eat healthier too, you crave healthier things. So
Yes.
like, I'm sure because you guys are so healthy, if you do eat something like vegan candy, which we're gonna eat later today, you probably feel the side effects of that a lot more.
Well, I can't eat veggie grill.
Yeah, I know you were
That's
saying
how
that.
I am.
I
Yeah.
And
can't.
I eat it a lot. So I was
just
like, I had it
why I
yesterday.
I felt like I had to go to the hospital after eating veggie grill. I'm not even kidding. And I'm like a hypochondriac, so that's like also
I am
not
too.
good.
Me too.
It's like really
We
bad.
all.
sisters.
I always go. I always get sick on a Sunday. Jared's like conveniently, so I have to go to the ER. And
I'm like a real thing.
I'm like, I have
me.
I
I've done
filmed
this
it.
with my boyfriend. He's like, it's Sunday, and I'm like,
Yeah, I have to go. You just got done watching like Grey's Anatomy. You're like, well, it could be cancer, or it could be my period. I don't know.
No, 100%.
really on a spiritual level right now.
Oh my gosh. This is
I don't
so
know.
not. I'm never hanging out with the both of you on a Sunday at the same time
No,
ever.
it's so true.
I don't know if you guys saw my recent video.
I
but
did.
I got the worm.
I loved it.
Okay, it was a
I told
strange-
myself I was researching for this video, but I was really stalking you. Like, they're really good videos. You guys should all go watch her videos.
I'll
It
be
was-
like,
give her
"What's
a
this
good stalk."
dent
Yeah.
in my arm, and Jesse's like, if that's your arm, and I'm like, I think it's broken.
No, and my dogs, they always have something. Jared's like, Wyatt is fine. I'm like, I don't know. I've never seen this mole before. He's
He's
like,
never slept this much.
Oh my gosh,
a little
you're gonna
extra
be
tired.
scary when you have kids.
No, I really
my mom
am.
said that. Yeah.
Because you're like, I'm not like that at all with myself, but I'm like already a little bit like that with my kids. So
Yeah.
It's gonna be
your
even
kid's
worse.
gonna be like at the doctor every day.
No,
Every Sunday.
definitely. Oh, and I have a gluten allergy for sure.
Do you
Like,
really?
I don't know.
For sure. I mean, I don't know, but definitely.
I did self-diagnose myself with that once a few years ago.
Like everyone else has one. Why did it skip me?
I have celiac, and the doctor was like, no.
Yeah. I think gluten, when you're vegan, you have to be careful with it because it's just so much at once. And like if that's like your main protein source or something, I think that can start to bother your stomach. So I'm just like careful with everything like that. But I do think, going back to the meal prep, I do think it's easier to stay on a vegan diet if you already have meals prepared and you already have snacks. And
Definitely.
Yeah, stuff
I
like
eat
that.
so much healthier if it's like pre-done.
Yeah,
And
same.
that is a good point, though, about the gluten, because a lot of people are like, oh, I went vegan and I don't feel good now, or I feel too tired, or I feel this and that, and why am I not getting these magical effects of being vegan? I know when I first went vegan, I was not a healthy eater pre-vegan, and I've gotten healthier the longer I've been vegan, but like at first it was literally just veggie burgers galore, sandwiches, pasta, lots of pasta. And that is not going to make you feel good if you're not incorporating all the yummy vegetables that are going to give you those vitamins and nutrients that you need, that you were getting from the animal that was eating those before.
Right.
So,
Yes, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I think that's why, like, I used to eat gluten before going vegan, never had an issue with it, but now that's a big, I mean, we could eat gluten. That's something that vegans can eat. So I think now that I eat more of it, and like anything, like popcorn, like really anything that I use.
Popcorn,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all so crazy.
I can have a little bit, but I can't like have a lot.
Once popcorn really did put me in the hospital because I had the worst cramps, and I was like, I think I swallowed a corn, and I think my stomach is making popcorn.
Did you just say my stomach is making popcorn?
You're like
oh my
picturing it
god.
popping. But I know what you
Oh
mean,
my
because when you make
God.
too much popcorn, you like feel
I was
it.
8. I was 8 though.
Oh my gosh. So it was a
Like,
lot
this
of popcorn
started
for a little
this
buddy.
this started the hypochondriac. Like started.
How many times have
long
you gone
time
to the
ago.
hospital?
Yeah.
But my copays are like through the roof. I have the budget for how many times I go to the hospital. It's like I have to budget for that. Like, I might get sick. I'm obsessed, but I was a little worried with going vegan. Like, am I gonna get everything? And you know, the thing is, I don't think doctors want you to go vegan because when I've mentioned it, they're all kind of like, everything. Oh, you're vegan. Like, well. Now things change. You know, you should have some cod liver oil. You should have this, and I'm like, what?
You're like, I wasn't having any of that before, and I
no.
was way less healthy.
Yeah, way less healthy. So, I mean, I don't know. I need to go find a vegan doctor.
I had a doctor that was like, "Oh, that's good. That means you're not eating like any carbs." And I was like,
So,
okay.
do they scrutinize you with your son? Like your pediatrician?
I feel like I'm pretty like.
Danny will be like, actually, this has DHA in it, and it's fortified with vitamin E.
I don't really
Yeah.
like ask them their opinion.
Yeah.
I'm just
Okay.
like, this is just what we do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
queen.
I never. I'm like, if you. I don't care what you think.
She just goes in there and slays. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Not
fine.
really. I'm like really awkward. I'm just kind of like, okay, well, this is what we're doing.
She introduced her doctor to pea milk. Like pea
I know. I hate
No,
that.
I
it's
say
called
I
that.
say that on my channel, so I'm like pea, like you know,
Like
peas.
green peas. Yeah. I know. I hate that it's called that because then my whole family's like, Brownie drinks.
I never
pea
thought.
milk."
Oh gosh.
They're like, ooh, sorry. Would you rather have cow's milk or pea milk? And I'm like, pea milk. I'd still rather have pea milk.
Funny you should ask. Pea milk, damn it.
How was that a question?
That's so funny.
Well, I had to ask because there's so many vegans that are having babies on Instagram, like in the spotlight vegans, and you're just like, you go to the comments and it's like, are the babies gonna be vegan? Like they're pregnant. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys follow John Venus.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He sent us protein powder. I know. I know.
He's so nice.
He is really nice. And so when his wife was, I know they've had the baby, but when she was pregnant, I would see the comments and they'd be like, is he gonna be? And they wouldn't answer. So I'm like, good for them. Like, don't blast that out
Do
there.
your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing as a
family.
vegan influencer too. Like, you don't have to share every single part of you. Like, you can share the things that you like, and I feel like sometimes there's a lot of pressure to like fully disclose. Like, oh my god, you guys, I bought a water bottle. I'm so sorry, and like, it's
Yeah.
fine.
No,
fine,
I just
yeah.
I give myself that out. I'm like, I'm a bad vegan. Don't follow my lifestyle. Like,
Someone
not-
asked me, they're like, "Is your underwear ethically made?" And I was like, "Why you are asking about my underwear?
Yeah.
Like, this is too much information.
Yeah.
Like, there's a line."
And
Or-
before you were vegan, they
No
weren't
one cared.
asking.
No,
So
I
it's
know.
like, would you? I don't know. It's just the whole thing's kind of weird to me sometimes.
I mean, we're vegan influencers, all of us, and we all feel that we're like afraid to post something. So we're like, somebody's gonna call me out for not being vegan enough with this.
And
or
it's not even like having vegan ingredients, because that's something we all like make sure to have. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my god, it has plastic, or that produce has stickers on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
you just can't
It's
make
a lot.
everyone happy.
Yeah.
But I think
No.
you have the right attitude about it to just be unapologetically yourself
Yeah.
and like make it normal to not be perfect. And then if you don't care, maybe other people won't
Yeah.
care. Sometimes I think we're doing a disservice when we're trying to be too perfect and we're like,
yeah.
Oh, of course.
yeah, because then it gives people the room to be like, oh, you're trying to be perfect, but you're not perfect.
Yeah.
pick you apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've already, my series is called Going Vegan, parentheses, not perfect.
Yes.
And I had to do that from the very beginning because I was like, you know what, I'm not going to be the poster girl for veganism. I'm just, I literally, guys, I don't even call myself a vegan. I don't have it in my Instagram bio. I'm probably, people would say I'm plant-based, even though that kind of hurts my feelings because I'm like, well, I'm doing it more than just like my body. Like I
Yeah.
gained weight going vegan, so it's not about my body. It's literally because I genuinely want to. So I feel I'm a vegan at heart, but yeah,
People
I
are
mean,
just not giving you enough time.
yeah,
Honestly.
yeah.
Just to learn things. And
You have to
like,
learn things.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I didn't even have an Instagram when I went vegan, so I cannot even imagine
Yeah.
how hard it must be.
And the grace too, like you said, like you turn down sponsorships because they're not in line with your values. Like you're not going to promote something that's not vegan because
Yeah.
like that is not what aligns with you.
I worked with RX Bar for a really long time
Oh,
because
yeah.
I used to go to Whole Foods, I'd get an RX bar after my workout, it was perfect. And then they reached out to me and they were like, Sam, we've seen you buy our products, we'd love to sponsor you. And we had a long contract and I had to make that, awkward call and be like, listen, I know I signed this, but I actually really can't promote. And they gave me the out and that was really cool. Like they weren't like, some companies I feel like would try to be like, well, just show it to your subscribers, say you don't eat that anymore, but that they can still get the discount. And I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
And they were cool about it, and I thought that was awesome because their products do have milk and eggs in them, so that's why they're not vegan. But yeah, we had a
That's really
long term.
cool of them.
Yeah, and YouTubers, we don't have guaranteed income.
No.
So that was money that I was, going to be getting, but that I didn't get because I
Yeah.
went vegan.
Yeah.
So, you have to sometimes make these hard decisions, and on social media it can be a little hard.
I think just at the end of the day, the most important part is to celebrate the good people are doing and not try to be so nitpicky and bring people down. And I
Yeah.
feel like as a vegan community, when someone is interested in the plant-based life, like we should be just welcoming with open arms and excited that they're interested in making any change at all.
Yes, even meatless Mondays.
Yeah, like that's
exactly.
awesome.
I wish I
So,
did that before going vegan.
Yeah, thank you so much for being
Oh,
on
thank
our
you guys for
channel.
having me.
You're
That was
so
fun.
cute,
Yes.
and it was
Oh,
so much
thank
fun
you.
talking to you.
Yes, I had so much fun.
So we'll definitely link her channel in the description box down below. She vlogs every Monday, Wednesday, and
Friday.
So she has a lot of great content on there. You guys go check her out, and we have all of our channels linked down below too. And we'll see you guys next week in another episode of The Vegan View. Bye. I'm doing too much head.
I know.